Hey, yo, what's poppin'? I'm Chad. Welcome to Comic Core Off the Rail Friday nights. It is about to get stupid in here. We've got a special guest. We got a great panel. We got some announcements to make. And we're... damn it. I'm starting to get feedback already, guys. So can't do anything right. So let's cheers to everybody. I'll turn it off to you guys. Cat Ren and Carson, what's up?
Well, hi.
Hi. So,
hey, Mark.
Off the rails craziness, and we got a creator on whose book I fell in love with as soon as I started reading it. So, do you want to go through the panel first, or do you want to introduce?
I'll do the panel real quick. And
all right.
So he quit. He said he was done. He retired. And he was just going to focus on Costco. But guess what? Can't keep a newsstand down. None other than Seawater 19. Hey, yo, what's up, pumping?
And to quote one of my favorites, Mark Henry, I got plenty left in the tank. That's what I do, Chad. So, I'm happy to be back after a 3-week hiatus of... Apparently, I've been dealing with the Triad. Apparently, something with white vans, according to Drew Manchu. Been working at several locations, so rumors have been amiss. But nonetheless, I'm back. And you know what? I'm going to get this started by going over the chat because you guys haven't touched the chat in 3 weeks. So we got Vu Hong in the chat. What's going on, man? I've had a chance to chat with this guy in some off-airs when I can get to these things. We got Comic Man Andy. What's going on, man? Always happy to talk to Comic Man Andy. And I bet Paul knows this next person. We got Midwest Comic Man Ball and Chain. How's it going tonight? And we got the Slab Dragon, TJ Watson. What's going on, man? Always like seeing TJ in the chats. Then we just had our own Smurf join us. He's probably at a cheese factory somewhere. But we got Caleb Comic Smurf Murphy in the chat. We also got Ben Compton saying, hey, everyone. And then Gretzky9966. Oh, it looks like we just had John's Comics with Kids, host of Comic Core Unlimited, that B show over there on Wednesday nights. Says, stay strong, crew. Love those off the rails team. Hey, just remember, A show, hashtag Red Brand. Next up, we got Midwest Comment Paul. He's back from the dead.
I can't believe he's back.
I mean, I thought
I'm only mostly dead.
Dude, it's special for me to tell you this, but do you know it's a year today?
Yeah.
It is. We've been on the air. We had this channel a year today.
Oh, it's your anniversary.
Oh.
So
I didn't even get to anything. I'm sorry.
Paul,
I have a potato.
You got a potato? God. Paul, it's nice, even though you've been finding your stride over there with the Golden guys.
Yeah, but this is still the original home, and I love chilling with my original Comic Core crew when I can get away from the madness of work.
Well, thank you for coming on. And so, Kat, would you like to introduce our esteemed guest?
All right. So, a while back, I saw a little thing of a book called Junior High Horrors, and I checked it out, and I kind of fell in love with it. So today we have the creative mind behind it. This is Rob Petchuk. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm really bad with names.
I'm used to it. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
hello, guys. Thanks for having me on. I love talking about junior high horrors. If I sound like I don't have a voice, it's because the con crud is real. Any of you who have been to a convention know that after 4 or 5 days at one, you have no voice. You start having a runny nose. Like no matter how much you bathe in rubbing alcohol or anything like that, it just doesn't seem to go away. So thanks for having me on, and I guess I'm here to answer any questions you may have about the title or anything coming up with it.
Well, I got to tell you first off, I read the book. I thought it was awesome. I'm a big horror fan, because people tend to say I say whore, and I don't say whore. I say horror. Did I say whore or did I? What's it sound? I said whore. Horror.
I get accused of that too, Chad.
But the premise of the book, if you don't mind, can you walk us through it? So, like, I'm a huge fan of these characters, especially on the trade. I mean, I lived, just so you know, I lived at one point where these stairs are, down in Georgetown, Washington, down in D.C.
So most of our covers are homages to great horror movie posters, like the one that you see there by Billy Parker, our inker, letter, colorist. Pretty much, I like to call him the production manager of the book, because without him, it doesn't get made, and he does wear many hats. If you look really closely at that cover, which looks very similar to an old movie called The Exorcist, you will also see that the bus is actually driving off without JV. So you have to look closely, but it is changed just enough to not be a direct rip off of the movie poster.
And you don't get hit with a copyright, right?
Oh well, parody law actually works in the favor of the satirist. So I guess I get away with some creative license there. But yeah, it's totally something there for to prevent copyright laws and trademarks and everything else from coming back to bite me.
And for those that you heard him say JV, JV stands for none other than Jason Voorhees. And this book starts out with Jason getting ready to go to his first day back to school in junior high school. And I mean, it is super clever. His crew, Frederick, is my all-time favorite.
I love Frederick the cat.
And I think we're gonna pull back the banana pills right now. We're gonna come at you with some hard hitting questions. Nancy's in it. We had Mark Patton on the show. He wants to know when Jesse's going to be in the next one.
Yeah.
When Jesse, which movie are we running from?
Freddy's Revenge, Nightmare 2.
Nightmare 2. Scream.
So I stuck with the main characters that people seem to know. Obviously Nancy was played by Heather Langenkamp in multiple Freddy adventures. So that's why we stuck with her. And it's really because, as you two both know, the character Frederick the Scaredy Cat is actually the imaginary friend of Nancy. So very similar to a Calvin and Hobbes situation, she actually sees him as something more than what everyone else knows him to be. Now we do play with that in the fourth part of the book, allowing everyone to actually see that when kids don't go to sleep on time and drink way too much caffeine, they also could start seeing Frederick for what Nancy sees him as.
I just, there's so many little twists and little homages that you guys pay. My all-time favorite comes in the Halloween issue.
Are you talking about the very last one?
Oh my God. I mean, that's been the rumor forever. I mean, obviously we all know that Shatner's mask, William Shatner, Captain Kirk mask is Michael Myers' mask. And at the very last panel, Jason's saying, I'm going to get him for going with me. He doesn't want to be a creepy clown like Pennywise or creature from the Black Lagoon. And he goes, no. And all of a sudden, he is dressed as Captain Kirk. And I'm like, this is perfect. So, again, it's JV, Michael Myers, Nancy, Laurie, Freddy, Pinhead, Candyman. They are all in this.
Terry
at the prom or the winter dance.
Mm-hmm.
And even like the subtle references of Negan being the gym teacher and Stephen King, the zookeeper, all the way to Shaun of the Dead. I mean, come on.
And Ash
Ash.
is their shop teacher.
What's
Now, is there anything more perfect than Ash? Ash, in this, it's Mr. Ash Campbell.
Ash Campbell.
And but is there anything more perfect than a guy missing his hand as the shop teacher?
Exactly.
It just made perfect sense to me when I was coming up with it. It turns out after I actually wrote the Walking Flu issue, turns out that at that point I actually found out that Robert Kirkman was writing a story about Negan, and Negan actually was a gym teacher before he became the Negan that everybody knows. And I didn't actually know that because I never read the little Image Illustrated thing that they were doing. So when I found that out, I was like, wow, I hope Robert Kirkman really doesn't get upset about this. But one of the cool things about it, if you actually look at those covers and everything in the back of the trade, or if you walk into your local comic shop and ask for Junior High Horrors, the third issue actually has a nice little quote at the top of it that says Robert Kirkman may have said that's awesome. And the reason why is because last year at San Diego Comic-Con, I actually walked up to Robert Kirkman, gave him our preview book, and told him that the third issue is going to be a Walking Dead parody. And he just looked at me and said, "That's awesome." And I then walked back to my booth, made sure that I, told everybody, "Oh my God, Robert Kirkman said that's awesome." And then the publisher asked, "Well, did he approve that?" And I wasn't sure if I needed approval or not. So later on in the weekend, I actually talked to Robert Kirkman again, and I asked him for approval to use the quote. And he was like, "I'm not sure I can go ahead and give credit for that yet because I haven't read the actual book or the issue." So I said, "Well, it's a parody. Can I ask for the approval to just say you may have said that's awesome?" And he was like, "You can run with that." So I totally did, and the solicitations, everything, it says in the book that Robert Kirkman may have called awesome.
Well, I mean, Lethal Dead. I mean, or what? Lethal Weapon, right?
Yes, Lethal Weapon 4, one of my favorite movies. That was actually, that cover right there is actually drawn by me. And the whole idea behind that one was I was trying to come up with other ideas for different horror movies or anything else, and I was like, you know what, that's lethal, right? So it's totally cool to just use that. The fonts and everything on that are the same fonts they used in the Lethal Weapon movies and everything else, just to really make the homage stick out even better.
So, are you taking these guys to high school anytime soon?
No. I have every intentions of leaving them in middle school as long as possible. Very, very similar to South Park. It's one of those things where I tend to believe you hear about high school stories a lot more often. There's a lot more, semi-adult things you have to discuss when you're talking about high school that you don't necessarily have to in middle school. So I wanted to make sure that this was really all ages appropriate and friendly. Which you guys have read it. You can tell me, is it okay for 9-year-olds to read as well as 50-year-olds to read?
Yes, and it was actually in the kids section of my comic book shop.
Now, see, that's interesting because
it was there completely by mistake.
Well, let me ask this. So is this an all ages friendly show that I'm on, or?
Oh yeah, no, we don't give a shit.
Okay. I'll still try to keep it. I'll still try to keep it PG-13 just because my own personal preference there. Yeah. But it was really funny at my local shop. It was right next to Jimmy's Bastards. So perfect that I'm right next to a Garth Ennis title, and then right next to Justice League. So I was like, if there's a spot that you want to be, it's right next to a Garth Ennis book and right next to Justice League. And then all of a sudden I did see that some stores started putting it in the kids section. But as long as people actually order it, as long as it's actually being put in stores, I don't give a shit. Like it's really about making sure that people are reading the book. I hear all the time that kids are actually asking their parents to go to the comic shop and order it for them, which is fine. Like the whole point of the book was to have the middle school aspects of it, so that kids, when they read it, they'd actually understand and grasp all that. But then when the parents read it, you got all the Easter eggs, you got all the side stories, you got all the adult themes and everything that are going involved. So that way it's kind of like Animaniacs or something, where when you watch it 20 years ago when you're a kid, you're sitting there going, wow, these characters are really funny running around doing like, Bugs Bunny stuff. But then all of a sudden you watch it now and it's like, wow, they were making fun of the size of Dolly Parton's breasts.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I've said this before, and I'm going to share it again. I was watching Looney Tunes literally a couple months ago, and Foghorn Leghorn, right? He's taking care. He wants to go out on a date or hook up with the mom hen. Like, legitimately, in order to do this, she makes him babysit her kid. And it's this little, like, chick with glasses on and a hat. And he was like, I say, hey, boy, I'm going to teach you how to play baseball. How do you like that? We're going to play some baseball. And the little duck said, no, I'm not interested. I want to read books. And Foghorn Leghorn stares directly in the camera, and he goes, I say, there's something funny about a boy that don't want to play baseball. I mean, literally that era, just what they got away with. I mean, again, that's before the Me Too movement.
I mean, it's those old cartoons, they got away with a lot. I mean, there was smoking in the cartoons. There was racial humor that you just couldn't get away with, and it's kind of how it blurred the lines between a lot of that stuff. But like I said, this is more like Tiny Toons or Animaniacs from the 90s, where like you look back and you actually look at who the writers were, and it's like Jimmy Kimmel, Adam Carolla, that kind of stuff, and you sit there and go, wow, that's really impressive that the guys that did the Man Show are sitting there doing a kids cartoon as well, and it really is meant to like I said, the kids are meant to get one story. I mean, my nephew is in 7th grade, helps me out with some of the ideas that actually happen in the middle school segments. And then, of course, I sit there and I pull from just about any of the horror movies to really fill in the blanks and give the story some humor.
I'm happy that you said Man Show, because our next segment is girls jumping on trampolines. So.
I already had my beer. I thought we were going to ziggy back.
So I'm going to hand it over. Hey, Carson, what's going on with that chat?
Oh, man, we got people hopping in the chat. We got royalty in the house, guys. Straight from New Zealand, we got the prince himself, the uncanny Kyle Walker. What's going on, man? We also have Brandon Stowinski Comics. Haven't seen him for a minute, so happy to see Brandon Stowinski in the chat. Still got Comic Man Andy. Actually, we got the Mastodon Comics and Collecting, and he does have a question for our guest tonight. And I was actually going to ask this question. So if we're looking for a copy of Junior High Horrors, what is the best way to find this comic? He says he couldn't find it on Amazon or in stock. Is it just, ask your local shop? Can you acquire it digitally? What is the best way to read your book?
So absolutely, and I'm glad you asked, because I definitely want you to talk to your local comic shops about getting them to carry it. In October, we actually have a Halloween Comic Fest book, which is where it's kind of like the little sister of Free Comic Book Day. You can walk into a comic book shop on October 26th, and they should have free copies of the Halloween book that you were already talking about. It will be available as a one shot. Walk in the shop, ask for it. That they should have it. If you want, you can even ask for like 25 packs of it, which I think they sell for a negligible amount, and you can actually give that out instead of Halloween candy if you're one of those weird families that doesn't like giving out candy bars for whatever reason. Don't give out the apples, like at least give out Junior High Horrors if you're going to do that. Yes, Cat's showing the cover for that. It's another homage. I think you were showing that.
Yeah, I was.
So it's an homage to one of my favorite Halloween stories. It's the well, that's not to the Halloween story, but that is one of the side covers for it. The cover for the book will actually be an all new cover. That's you know what? I'll be right back. I'll show it to everybody.
Okay, well, in the meantime, Mark eating is a potato right now, sweet potato. If anybody's asking.
I was wondering about that. That's like your third sweet potato or something.
He likes steamables.
That's gimmick.
That's kind of Mark's shtick.
It's like
So-
Charlie
Here,
Brown.
I'm gonna put it on there. Charlie Brown. Oh, very cool.
Yes, so it is the
Nice.
Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown cover. That is by series cover artist Sean Beck. He blew it out of the park with that one. You'll also notice as I stumble through my words that up in the top corner, if I can get my camera to actually show it, that right there, that little orange little nub on it, that is a dyslexia friendly logo for the book, because starting with issue 5, Junior High Horrors went dyslexia friendly using the open dyslexic font. Something that I'm quite proud of, because it's the very first comic book ever to do it. It weights the letters differently, so even better than Comic Sans, which is typically noticed as a more friendly to dyslexics. It allows them to basically make sure they know what letter is what. So even if they can't, for whatever reason, still get words fully straightened out, they can at least know that a lowercase d is a lowercase d versus a lowercase b kind of thing.
Very cool. That is a very awesome. Very
yeah. But I don't even know if I fully answered your question about where to order the book, so I will cover that real quick. Yes, ask your local comic shop. Issue 7 should be available to order right now, should be available to order now. Issue 8 and the Halloween issue. Issue 7 is going to be out in September. Issue 8 is going to be out in November. And then, of course, the Halloween book will be out in October, like I mentioned. If you can't find it there is a website called the KeenSpotShop.com. So KeenSpotShop.com. You can actually go on there, find the book that way. You can order it that way. And then, of course, there's also the old Comixology from Amazon that you can order it and view it digitally if you'd like to do it that way.
Very cool.
So I believe I covered all of them.
So a couple other things. Oh man, I'm sorry. I just got a text message from somebody. What are you working on now? I mean, you showed us a little bit beforehand, but I mean, can we talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about anything that I've currently got in the pipe, because everything is at least announced at this point.
Kat, can you pull it up?
Oh yeah.
So everybody knows that I'm a huge Liefeld fan. I mean, huge. I'm a super nice guy. Never stood me up. Never made me run.
Right there.
I mean, draws phenomenal feet. But
so I sense sarcasm.
oh, not really. Just a little bit.
So yes, I had a book come out last week called Ex Liefelds. Bleeding Cool did multiple articles on it. The first one actually explaining that it was a new parody coming out by myself, a gentleman by the name of Rob Nikolakakis, who actually drew it for me. Multiple covers, which was a big '90s thing. So of course we've got to stick with that theme. But I will say that your local shop may already be out of it, because even though it was my highest ordered book to date, it also was the fastest selling book to date, because one of those articles from Bleeding Cool was Rob Liefeld himself saying he will not sign the book, which made it fly off of shelves, specifically since I was mentioning to you guys, I guess off air, that we were sitting right next to the Marvel booth. He was signing Major X at the Marvel booth at San Diego Comic-Con. So we had quite a few people come up and actually want to talk to me specifically about whether or not, he meant that, or whether or not they could actually buy a copy and try to take it up to him. So, yeah.
Did he say anything to you? Has he approached you about it?
So I actually approached him at WonderCon. I will tell you, when it comes to parodies and everything else, I do try to be as friendly to the material as possible. So it was something where, while I had the idea, while I had the script written, even had the artwork in production, I wanted approval from him before I actually went ahead with the property. So this isn't exactly a scoop, because my Twitter picture right now is me showing him Ex Liefelds at WonderCon. but I did speak to him at WonderCon in Anaheim to make sure that he knew this was coming. And at that point, he actually said, "Oh, it sounds hilarious, man. I hope you don't get sued." And I asked him, "By you?" And he said, "No, I wouldn't sue you. I think it's funny. I'll probably retweet it." So if you look now and you see that he tweeted out that he won't sign the book at San Diego Comic-Con or anywhere else, I think it's pretty funny because that's kind of how people imagine him sitting there retweeting something like that. So I hold no ill will towards him. I did the parody book as my love letter to 90s comics, and it's gotten a lot of people sitting there talking about it. I found out just in the past 2 days that stores in England, stores in Argentina, stores in the Netherlands, they all got the book so that they could actually sell it. And I think it's hilarious. So.
Well, definitely in England. I mean, Bleeding Cool is, I think Rick, it's Rick Johnson, right?
Yeah, Rich Johnston, yeah.
He's from England, right?
He is, but his local shop actually did not have any in stock by the time he went to get it. So.
Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. Kat, what you got?
All right, so just continuing on with the Liefeld love, going on. Spotlight. I gotta tell you, the cover for this and the little mini story that they had in this, I thought was adorable as a comic fan and just as a fan of the story that's currently going on. JV and Candyman trying to get a hard-to-find comic and going to several different stores and then, meeting an ominous, shadowy figure who's like, I used to be a creator. And then everyone made fun of the way I drew.
Yes, and of course, when you look at the fourth and final page of the Junior High Horror story, it was my own little way of making a Junior High Horrors meets X Liefeld's crossover without actually having them cross over. So you have Rob Liefeld right there, drawn in the style of Eric Kent, the current artist of Junior High Horrors, and then of course on the next page when JV finally gets a copy of the hard to find book, it just happens to be a copy of X Liefeld's. So yeah, that was just my way of sitting there trying to tie the two stories in together. We had the spotlight that you have there available at San Diego, so a lot of people were asking about that as well. And of course, that cover is by series artist Eric Kent. You'll also notice that he put all of his covers in the background as posters in said comic shop, like issue 4 up there on the left side, issue 3 up there on the right side.
Cover.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Eric got that colored by a gentleman by the name of Federico, who is just phenomenal. We like to use him on a lot of different covers. If you look through your trade, you'll actually see that he colored a couple pieces for me. The incentive cover of number 6 is a
Sleepaway Camp, right?
Yes, the one that I did is Sleepaway Camp, and that was as a favor to my friend Billy, who did the Friday the 13th cover for that issue. He had kept telling me that he wanted me to do something involving Sleepaway Camp, and while I will admit to not having necessarily watched that film, I made sure I found the poster for it and went ahead and did an homage to that. But then in issue 7, the cover for that one, since you were asking about upcoming projects, issue 7, my retailer incentive cover. So the stores have to order at least 5 copies, but if they do, they're actually given a free copy of this version. We'll actually have Hellraiser on the cover. It is an homage to the original Hellraiser cover. But instead of holding the puzzle box, he's holding a Rubik's Cube. So
Nice.
It's awesome.
So,
I was actually-
is this going to be totally ongoing, or do you have an end in sight?
So right now it's all about whether or not the book continues to sell. We may take a hiatus after issue 8 just because there are other projects that all of us are working on. Billy, like I said, he inks, colors, letters it. He's working on a book called The D Ward, which comes out in October, or at least the first issue comes out in October. It's drawn by Alex Smith, a guy who did an issue of Princeless for Jeremy Whitley. So we may take some time off after issue number 8, maybe even call it like summer break or winter break for it, so that way, you know, we can come back and maybe put them in another year of school. But the idea though is as long as people continue to pick it up, read it, and buy it, you know, I you know, there's no real end in sight. The great thing about it is based on retailers talking to us. They told us that they really wanted us to try to make the stories as single issue and just, you know, easy to pick up and read as possible, because the first issue sold out in 5 days. Like, you know, you said that you couldn't find it. The first issue sold out in 5 days, which meant nobody wanted to pick up number 2 because, well, they couldn't find the first one. And if it's a continuation on the story, there's, you know, it kind of dulls that momentum. So starting with issue 3 on, every single issue has been a single, you know, contained story, so that way anybody could pick up issues 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, and on. So like I said, the idea is there may be a hiatus after number 8. The nice thing about it is that we all actually work pretty quickly on getting the book done. So even if we were thinking about cutting it down and then all of a sudden find out, wow, the number 8 actually just had, you know, record sales or something, then it's something where we could easily just keep going. I'd love to have, you know, 2, 3 more volumes out. So, you know, it's one of those things that it's kind of near and dear to me. I had a father of a young lady come up to us at a signing at one point and actually tell us that she was having a really tough time in school, but, you know, she got a poster of our comic, put it up in her bedroom, and all of a sudden, like, you know, things just seemed to be a little bit easier because these weird kids in the comic were able to overcome the adversity and everything. So it really made it cool knowing that, you know, my funny book that all I was trying to do was make jokes and make people laugh, all of a sudden actually meant something to people. So, you know, I'd love to keep doing it at this point.
Nice. We got several questions popping up in the chat, so I do want to get back to the chat real quick. We got Chris Barrett. I've been waiting for him to pop in. What's going on, man? We got Comics for Thomas. He says, hey, everyone, how's it going? We got Airboy the Barbarian. What's going on, man? Nice to see you in the chat. But I want to get
Airboy might want to hang on and stay in the chat for a little bit.
Nice.
Because later on, after we're done, we're going to talk about a small contest we had.
Awesome. So I want to get to the question posed first by the Great Legend. So shout out to the Great Legend Show. Hope you're feeling better tonight, man. He wants me to ask, what is your favorite horror character? He particularly likes Leatherface, and he was name-dropping Pinhead. I know me. I love me some Tall Man. So, Rob, what is your favorite horror character?
Oof, there are so many good ones. You know, it's funny. I guess the first series that I ever ended up making sure that I bought every single movie for was the Friday the 13th series. So I do have an affinity for Jason, but how could you ever discount knowing that Robert Englund played Freddy Krueger for as many movies in a row as he did? And even at his age at this point, he still wants to come back and play that character one more time. So if I had to go with my favorite horror character, it's probably Freddy Krueger. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely love me some Robert Englund. I just remember, like, I gotta always tell my story real quick. When I was a little kid, I was just so blown away going into the video stores. You know, everything was like a trilogy or what have you. But then you look up and you see all those Friday the 13th lined up in a row. Right below it, you got all the Nightmares lined up in a row. So ever since I, started writing from those video stores, I always loved those. Let's see. We got Chris Barrett is asking, if you could write for any horror character, who would you write for?
You know, that one I think is the interesting thing there is whether or not you consider Ash from Evil Dead an actual horror character, because I would love to have Bruce Campbell reading any lines that I write, you know, and when you're trying to think about whether or not you could actually put yourself into his voice or whatever, that would easily be the character that I would want to write, because Sam Raimi even went on record as to say that, you know, when you've got a character like that, at 1 minute he's sitting there as like this heroic character, and then the very next minute he's a babbling idiot that's crying in the closet somewhere. So that's the type of character that, you know, would be absolutely just really hoot to write.
It'd be fun to write for someone who uses phrases like primitive screwheads.
Oh, absolutely. And we a couple buddies of mine and I used to do a movie podcast that we actually called Primitive Screwheads because we're such big Bruce Campbell fans.
That's awesome. Next up, oh, go ahead, Chad.
Air Boy the Barbarian has, I think these parodies are great. Do you consider yourself the new Weird Al of comic books?
Wow. Okay, so I wouldn't have. And then all of a sudden, and I won't ever say that I'm the Weird Al of comic books, just because the amount of material that he's actually covered and parodied over time, like there's never going to be another Weird Al. But it's funny because I finally started saying, if that's what my niche ends up becoming, and that's what I become famous for, if people start saying I want to be parodied by Rob Pochak, then yes, absolutely, I think that would be awesome to be called that. But there's no way that I will ever do enough parodies to actually do that. And unlike Weird Al, where I feel he's okay to be typecast as a parody guy at this point, I do have some other projects in the works that are definitely not parody books.
Nice. Next up from Comic Man Andy says, do you have a favorite comic series to collect, or do you even collect at all? I was actually going to kind of ask earlier, like, what some of your favorite comics were, because obviously if you're drawing a comic, I'm guessing you like comic books.
Yeah, I love comic books. I don't read them nearly as much as I used to, because the last thing a writer ever wants is someone sitting there saying that you plagiarized their work, stole their ideas, anything along those lines. So I don't read as many as I used to, but I've definitely read, you know, I'm currently keeping up with Doomsday Clock because I'm a huge Watchmen fan. I'm actually really excited about the Watchmen HBO show at San Diego. I got these exclusive pins that I've got sitting right next to me. So
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I huge Watchmen fan. And because of that, like, you know, Doomsday Clock is definitely one book that I'm picking up. I've kept up with some titles. I'm a huge Wolverine fan. It's funny, I don't read a lot of indie titles, and it's something where when I do keep my hand on the pulse of what's going on with comics, I mostly still read mainstream stuff. But you know, there are titles like man, now I'm drawing a blank. I did finish up Walking Dead when that came out. And there's some other stuff like Rob Guillory stuff that I'm reading. Anything by Donny Cates I'm reading. But I do fill a void in myself by reading anything that Jeff Johns writes. Basically anything not written by Brian Michael Bendis, I could give a shot to.
Yeah, I think me and you get along really well. I've been loving me some Farmhand. I know Great Legends not on the panel tonight, but they just wrapped up their second arc Wednesday, so definitely love Farmhand. And yeah, I've actually been really enjoying Doomsday Clock the last like 5 or 6 issues. It's just a shame that it comes out every other month, but yeah, I agree. I can't wait for that Watchmen series, and I definitely can't wait for the conclusion of Doomsday Clock. So. By the way, chat, if you guys got any more questions for Rob, please go ahead and put those down in the chat. But we'll go ahead and just see who else has joined us here. We still have Airboy the Barbarian. We still got Comics for Thomas. He says, hey, everyone, what's going on? Comics for Thomas. JP's Budget Collecting has joined us. What's going on, JP? I believe we got Houdat T, the, I think, 5 or 6 time Hunt champion. So what's going on, Houdat? Always like seeing him around in the chest. We got Knights of the Old. What's going on, man? And then Chris Barrett says, if I was a writer, I'd be reading everything because the greatest stories are variations of previous greats. Like Stan Lee tweaked the stories of Shakespeare and made them his own. And then Great Legend just says, stream forever. So there you go, Great Legend. I tried. So, and Kat's got a new friend over there. What's going on, Kat?
Odin decided to join the stream. So
He's wants one of those sweet potatoes, I'm sure.
I think there was another question.
There's another question
In the chat. Carson, did you see it?
Nah, okay. It says from Chad Ramsden, could Rob stay with us if he can go to Baltimore?
So I'd have to check the dates. First of all. The real question is whether or not you all could stay up and party as long as I seem to at these big events. So
we unfortunately joined the Triad when we were in Chicago.
Okay.
At 4 a.m. in Chinatown in Chicago. It was pretty.
Triad.
Didn't you have to like kind of get a squeegee to move Comics Misexplained down the?
Well, I mean, he died. He died, and we had to carry him.
Who did?
The problem wasn't staying up night and partying. It was staying up during the day and being at the con was the problem.
So
that becomes the problem, especially by day 2.
You were talking about the con cred. I woke up that Friday morning after Thursday night and could barely move.
Yeah, but tell him who gave you it.
George Perez.
0.
It was kind of worth it.
You know, there are worse people to get con crud from than George Perez. So
and he did really love my cosplay, and he gave me a kiss. So I'm okay with that.
And George Perez is a god, so he can get away with doing anything like that.
Pretty much.
Apparently, you guys probably already know this. The cons that he's actually frequenting now and not doing as many Comic Cons are fetish cons. So,
really,
yes. So, and unfortunately, I think we've probably seen the last of his major artwork, which is very disappointing to the industry because there won't ever be another George Perez. Phil Jimenez is close in terms of the actual art, but I don't think we'll ever see anyone put 5,000 characters on a cover again.
I live in Pittsburgh. Do you think he'd go to Anthrocon again?
He very well could. I mean, I think at this point he's based out of Florida though, so who knows?
No, you. So what is your schedule like? I mean, how many cons are you hitting a year, and like when does your season begin?
Well, it's funny. I do work a day job. I work I don't talk about it, but it's a retail job. So because of that, I don't typically do any conventions starting November 1st through the end of the year. And like I said, right now I've only got 2 that I know of planned for the rest of the year. So I've got Greensboro in September and then Fayetteville in October. And Fayetteville is only tentative at this moment. We haven't actually nailed down the dates on that one or anything for it. And then I don't think I've got anything again until maybe February or March of next year.
Do you have a social media following that our viewers can essentially check you out on or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking. I've got Facebook.com/Rob Pochak, Potchak. I've got Instagram/Rob Pochak, same thing. There's also both Facebook and Instagram have Junior High Horrors available. I've got another property that's called Immortal that goes under Facebook.com/Immortal the Comic and Instagram.com/Immortal the Comic. There'll be more information about the second volume of that coming out probably before the beginning of the next year, because that's probably going to be the next thing that you guys really see me tackling. It's the first volume's already out. The story is basically if you took Buffy the Vampire Slayer, mixed it with Highlander, and then added powers from X-Men into it.
There you go.
That sounds awesome.
Amazing. But anyone who's having trouble finding his Instagram, I did tag all of that on the Comic Core Instagram page.
Okay.
So he's got tags for both Junior High Horrors and his as well. So
and we actually
that post.
Carson actually put it in the post too, and I'll put it in the links.
below. So,
and then my Twitter is actually just my last name, so @Potchak, POTCHAK.
awesome. Well, we appreciate you coming on, talking about the book. I greatly, I mean, I don't know how much time do you have, but this is kind of the part where we go off the rails. Because I'm going to invite a whole bunch of people on at one time. So you're more than welcome to hang loose because we're going to announce a winner to our contest, I think.
All right. Well, I think I'd love to hear who's going to win your contest. So.
All right.
All right.
All right, guys. So, if how do we want to do this?
Well, just a little side note. The reason why I got up and checked outside is because it was the 5th emergency vehicle that went by our house. And it seems like there's somebody's house that's burning down.
In our neighborhood, someone's house is on fire right now.
Because it's, one, it smells like wood. 2, it's super, super smoky. And yes, it was the 5th emergency vehicle. So sorry about your house, guys.
Indiana needs rain.
Hey, can I get a Knights of the Olds question to Rob real quick?
Yeah,
because it was like we missed just one question.
Yeah.
He says, for Rob, what vintage first print book would you buy if you had unlimited funds, basically? So is there one book or one holy grail you'd like to add to your collection?
Oof. I mean, I've interestingly enough, I've actually had my hands on copies of X-Men #1, Fantastic Four #1, and Amazing Fantasy 15. If I were to want just one specifically, though, it probably I would settle for, you know, if it came down to, okay, you've got unlimited funds, I would want, you know, everyone would want Action Comics #1. But I would settle for an Amazing Fantasy 15. Hey, one last thing. I you know, while you're asking me the question, I don't know if I'm on video or not here. I don't see me get large like the rest of you do on my screen, but I did want to show everybody the retailer incentive of #8 of Junior High Horrors. It is by none other than Gene Ha. So
nice.
It is a Copic drawing that he did for me at Hero of Frederick as the Teddy, and then I also have my cover in black and white right here, which, since it is going to be the Christmas issue of Junior High Horrors, I want everybody to make sure that they ask for the buy hard cover, where Mikey goes into a toy store to actually try to get his hands on the toys that are held hostage by some of the kids working, and of course he has to go hard at it. So since most people like to think that Die Hard is just a Bruce Willis movie, including Bruce Willis himself, I say screw that. It is a Christmas movie,
exactly,
and as such, it will be the Christmas story in Junior High Horrors #8.
Nice.
There, you guys
That's
get a
awesome.
scoop there. That hasn't even been announced anywhere.
Nice.
It's amazing.
All right, so it looks like the rails kind of continue to skew from on to off. We got JD in the chat. What's going
How
on,
we doing?
man?
Good. How we doing? Great show. This was fun. It was great to be in the chat and good stuff. Nice to have you here, and thanks a lot. And I've definitely checked out that Instagram and everything. Really cool. Nice job, Cat Ren.
Why do you say was? It still is fun.
He's still on.
We gotta get better.
Over.
It's
We're
certainly
not letting him go.
Now, what are you drinking there, JD?
This is a Lucky Bucket, which is a Nebraska beer with an elephant on it. How ironic, huh? Guy who collects Golden Age elephant covers. Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Hey,
Right,
JD,
so-
can you send John's Comics and Kids and Alec the link?
I was in the middle of telling about my beer.
Go
Priorities,
on.
Chad. Priorities.
So it's an IPA.
Oh,
Pretty good. All right. I will do that, Chad.
thank you.
Nice to see you, too.
Nice to see you.
So
All right.
since we're talking about Christmas movies, I found probably the worst Christmas movie known to mankind, and no one's going to think of it as a Christmas movie.
Oh,
So-
What's that?
Sharks
I'm-
under the tree.
Well,
Sharks.
actually, yeah, it is Sharks. So Cinema Figures is doing a Sharkathon right now, and I just finished the Jaws series. So the Revenge actually takes place over Christmas. So technically a Christmas movie.
Hey,
So
Terrible Christmas gift.
what's up?
It's a horrible
The camera's
Christmas
stuck
gift.
on Rob.
What's that?
The camera's stuck on Rob.
I fixed it.
You
Shut up!
Hannah
Shut up, Paul! You stupid.
Hey, he came back from the dead. For
No,
this,
dude,
okay?
I called this dude up. I was like, please come on. I
We
miss
miss
you. Legends like off, and you never know when he's gonna come. I said that hoping he would just appear at that moment.
invite sent. Invites
Um,
to John and White Whale sent there, Chip.
Chip. I feel like I should be a bad guy from the 80s.
Hey, not even.
Chris Barrett just said Paul's been
Not on the
alive
week
for a
that
week.
Rutger Hauer passes away. You ever put
Oh,
yourself in
I
a
forgot.
category like that?
So,
On
hey,
YouTube,
Rob,
look for it.
while we're going off the rails, can you do me a favor and add at some point have the kids from junior high run into the Monster Squad? Because
You know,
the Wolfman
I-
has nards.
it's funny because one of the things that I wanted to make sure I stayed away from specifically was the Universal Monsters because other than possibly being teachers at the school, I felt that there was just too much of an age gap between those characters. And as much as I would love to have them in there, I thought going as far back as Norma and Norman Perkins as the principal and vice principal of the school. I didn't think that it was fair to sit there and try to do anything else unless maybe it was like the old grandparents that are coming for like a school play or something at some point.
I would love to show my neighbor this book, but he would take credit for it. Just because he essentially takes credit for everything. Like, I'm serious. Like, his name's Tom Savini, and he's like, yeah, I made that. Oh, I redesigned that. I did this.
Hey, I love Tom Savini's new Bray Wyatt mask. So
What?
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Did he do that?
yeah, he designed that Joker Fiend mask of Bray Wyatt's.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We just lost him.
That going to get him right now? Is he
Good.
He might be.
Rob,
Do it.
gonna go knock on the door at Tom
Come
Savini's
on.
house? Is that what's going on?
Take us with you. Take us
Wow.
with you.
while Chad's harassing Tom Savini, I'll get back to the chat. We got the boy who had 7 in the chat. What's going on, man? We got Bake the Snake. He's in the chat tonight, and the Joker's back. So, what'd you do with Chad, Joker?
I'm gonna give him the man who will call.
This
You
is why
guys, you guys weren't kidding about the whole going off the rails.
Oh,
It doesn't take long.
off
I
the rails,
tried a
on the
long
rails,
time
whatever they
ago.
Chad,
This is actually
Keep it on.
call it.
and-
222, 21, whatever it takes.
this is the longest we've ever stayed on one topic.
Yeah, no, I try to be professional for the first.
Put the mask back on.
Happy anniversary! Woo!
I knew that was gonna happen. I swear to God, I knew. As soon as I started taking it off, I guess JD's gonna say something. God, I'm ugly.
Story once
Oh, there he is!
It's the 17-time world champion.
legend.
So
What's going on, boys?
we
How you
need-
doing tonight?
we need to get a couple more representatives of. I sent. I called Alec, but we got to get.
I sent one to Alec. I sent
All
it to the Instagram.
Yeah. So as soon as we get some of these cats on, let's make some votes and let's decide. Hey, Paul, have you seen any of the videos? This one guy lives by you. His name's Airborne.
I haven't had a
Air
chance
boy?
to watch
Air
any.
boy.
With my project stuff going on at
he's
work.
an Iowa guy?
What's that? He's an Iowa guy. Yeah. He's in a cornfield. He says, I've got
I mean, I'm in Omaha, so I'm not that much.
I did sub him up, so I'm gonna check out his stuff.
Yeah, the
Airboy.
dude has really good stuff.
Yeah.
Airboy just put in the chat Lurch as the speech teacher. That would be funny. I 100% agree with that. If we could get some Addams family represented, that would be kind of amazing.
How about Barnabas Collins?
Damn. You know I love some Dark Shadows from 1966 to 71. 5 years of fun. Check out that soap opera on Amazon Prime if you got to go back in time on the rewind. Check out Jonathan Triad. Check out Jonathan
I
Triad.
will, however, I do have to say, however, if I do anything Dark Shadows, I have to completely get rid of the Tim Burton version.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Amen, Rob. Amen.
Yeah,
That's
but
a blasphemy in here. You're not blaspheming. We're all good on that one. Like
You know,
that
Robert-
movie is blasphemy.
Then the Ben Cross version, even from the '90s, I would be okay with, but not
Yeah, I didn't mind that too
anything
much.
the other one.
I just finally, because I never finished the Ben Cross one in the 90s due to all the, I think it was like the Iraqi war and stuff was going on and it was stuff's getting preempted. But the Ben Cross one, I watched that like maybe 2 weeks ago on Prime. It was really good. I
Yeah,
like it.
Ben Cross was the man. I thought he was probably the best pick for the revival.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was crazy that they had a guy by the last name of Cross
Yeah.
being a vampire.
Yeah, right. That is kind of a weird deal.
And you know, back then I was like a teenager, and I was still like, that's just weird to me. So
Rob, did anyone talk about those Funkos in the background from the mirror, looking through the looking glass there? You got some good Funkos there. Do you have any horror ones or
so
anything?
I may have a Jason Voorhees up there, but no, my Funko collection is very, very small. I have the entire Dark Knight Returns Batman set, as well as the Brian Bolland Killing Joke Joker.
Ooh,
But
nice.
otherwise, I've got a Hulk Hogan from when he was banned from WWE, and I've got a Blackest Night Superman Gold Edition up there.
Nice. Those are very addicting, man. So you're doing good so far.
Yeah, no, and in fact, none of my pops are less than like 2 years old at this point. So that's as few as I've got, and that's all I'm gonna get. I very I'm looking at these 80th anniversary Batman ones, and I'm like, those sons of bitches. I'm gonna have to pick up a couple of these.
The
And
one
I just-
where he's punching the Joker off with the glasses. Remember?
Oh yeah, and he's like, you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? Yeah, that's one that I want. Yeah.
I was up there today because I picked up my Michelangelo wearing the Bat Cow, but they had the Red Death up there, and I wanted that so bad, but I just couldn't bring myself to get it because I got this baby.
I don't know. Is everybody still there? I started losing everybody for a second.
Yeah,
No,
so
No,
that's how he
no,
talks.
Over here.
That's how Chad talks.
yeah, yep.
So, honey, you want to tell me how many pops you have?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
How many pops does she have?
I have a lot.
Oh, the last I counted was around 600.
I'm looking at Spider-Man
And
Grandpa. up there.
I've been working on like cutting back my collection.
And I
make
still
room for
recounted, and
everything.
it's still around 600.
Do you have all the gargoyles?
No.
Damn it! I want those. That's the
You
only.
mean the little cartoon gargoyle, the Keith David Goliath, and all of that?
Yeah, Bronx.
Dude, that was a great series. I didn't know they had Funkos.
Chris
there.
Barrett, I've gotten rid of all the Colossus pops.
No, I still have one.
Oh.
I have the kamikaze one.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
listen, guys.
Swamp Thing and he just got the Swamp Thing and Constantine now exclusives. Those are the hot ones, man.
Midwest.
Those are gorgeous.
Paulie, do you wanna?
That's
say
a good
goodbye?
one.
You gotta take off.
Nice, Caleb.
Well, first, let me find one.
Show your painting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that painting.
Oh, which one? This one or the one behind it?
I
This
want
is one. This is what I'm working on for one of my kids' teachers. She said she wanted a beach sunset.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool. That that looks like the some Collinsport, man. The waves crashing against that beach. Dark
And
Shadow. Wow.
this was the first one I did with rings around the planet, so it's not perfect, but
That's very cool. I can
like
see
them.
Silver Surfer kind of flying around them planets coming at you.
Yeah, next
Norn
time,
Red, surf shop right there. That's
next
where
time
you go.
when you make the
The,
planets a circle, that's cool.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Chris Barrett, they have a Bob Ross pop.
They do.
Paul, you're muted as usual, and okay,
Constantine.
you're muted.
that's
there
the
you go.
Constantine previews exclusive.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, that is an awesome. That's a good one.
And I have one of the Bob. They actually have like 8 different Bob Ross pops.
Yeah, I know there's one. Yeah.
He's got a Bob Ross next to your Venom up there. Is
I
that
think I wanted him smoking a Jonah
I
Hex
just
face
got the
knife.
chase of him and left it to
to
them.
the,
Yeah.
left, to the left of that Venom?
Yep. I have the Bob Ross with the raccoon.
Oh, nice. My favorite is the first edition Thanos, the old one. Old Thanos.
You need to
But
get-
I take mine out and play with it.
I play with my things too.
Yeah, I know.
Sea Woodard needs to get a bobblehead of his body, but as the head, it's just a barcode. It's going to be newsstand. Have a barcode going like that. That'd be funny.
You'd look like you belong in Saga.
Yeah, they can use the Prince Robot's
Prince
head,
Robot the
but
Fourth.
put the barcode on the screen. Yeah, I love
So-
Saga.
While we're waiting for these guys to join us so we can talk about it, Paul, I appreciate you joining us in short notice. I know you've been working hard and
Yep, but my project should be ending.
And hard all.
About 2 weeks left on the project I'm doing for work, so hopefully I'll be more available after that.
Well, you got to start pressing some books for me coming up. I'm going through them right here.
You need to send them.
Right.
What else are you sending me?
Conan,
I'm gonna have to
some
send this one
Fantastic Four. Then in decent some Fantastic.
For him to keep.
We got this
oh
one
my
here.
goodness, there she is. I haven't heard that
Please,
voice in a
how are you?
long time.
Fantastic Four 50.
Johnny Goes to College.
Oh, yes.
Swamp Thing 7.
Oh, I
I
need that.
love
One.
that cover.
Yep.
I need 7 and 9.
Submariner-
I'll have the
Mariner 8.
Good
Submariner
storyline.
6.
Yeah, I'm sorry the camera's stuck on me. I apologize.
Avengers 2.
Chad, you crazy.
Captain Marvel 26. And Thor 127.
Sorry, you got to show them
Send in a
all
few.
over again. They were
I'm
on
not doing
Chad's
that It's a comic show once in a while.
screen.
Yeah,
I just like they're towards the end of the year going to CGC. I got too much stuff already there and too much stuff planned and going.
so
All the stuff I
I'm
pressed last time.
gonna lobby.
Yeah,
you
they're there now.
Did you know that in this one song I recently heard that the gentleman will get you a 9.6? He will stand in there to get you a 9.6.
It's true.
Yeah.
Good like that.
Yeah. Supposedly, I still live in the box, but whatever.
Give it the mark with the food crumbs.
Ollie, if you got to bounce, man, tell Ivy I love you.
Yep, absolutely.
Bye.
I'll give you guys a
Thank
call
you for
tomorrow.
showing up, Rob, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, Ivy's hand.
Later,
all. Ball and chain.
Gone too soon. That dude, he died.
Gone too soon.
He's
old. He's so fucking old.
Well, I got him on Golden Guys for a reason, and he's our freaking Estelle Getty. Definitely our permanent Estelle Getty legend. You were the original. You know, you're the Susie Quattro of the.
I'll be there. You know if he croaks or something. You know, I'll show up.
You don't know how tonight's gonna go.
Estelle, man.
And she don't mess around much, Evilise.
The cheesecake.
So, Rob, so you know that we have another show on for Tuesdays called Golden Guys, and Paul and JD are on it, and they review Golden Age comics. And Paul's old. Just to let you know, Paul's old.
Did you just say old?
Yeah, he's just old.
Not that old.
He's like ancient, dude.
Yeah, it's not the well. What did Indiana Jones? It's not the age; it's the mileage. You know.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's just his tread is
bald.
Those golden
Unfortunately,
age,
bringing up Indiana Jones.
Be nice, guys.
Bringing up Indiana Jones is a hell of a lot of mileage on that guy.
the golden age books, man, they have that smell to them. And when I got close to Paul at C2E2, I smelled the same smell, man. He smelled like shit. I mean, that guy could. I mean, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about that, man.
Hey,
I'm gonna go a little heel. I'm gonna go a little heel version, man.
No,
that guy
I'm probably
could-
still watching this.
that guy couldn't draw shit in a fly house. You know what I'm saying?
is this payback for saying
You know what?
welcome back from prison
I'll
when
say
you got
this
from the
though.
airport?
No matter what,
What's that, Rob?
Your device is connected.
Oh,
I
okay.
was just gonna say that I'd much rather smell Golden Age comic books all day long than smell the con funk that goes around. Like,
Stink.
You got to go to one up in Minnesota. That's
we-
so dope up there.
we were when we were at San Diego, we were saying that instead of having those like misters outside, they should have Febreze misters. So you got to walk through Febreze to get into the convention.
Spray a bunch of Axe on these cats.
When we did our C2E2 House of
No
Horrors,
Axe. No
I made
Axe.
sure to bring
No
a
Axe.
4-pack Sam's Club Febreze, but my number one requested cosplay is definitely a can of air freshener. I think that'd be a great cosplay opportunity for somebody.
One that actually works. Like you actually.
Anti-
Yeah, oh, I know,
Like-
absolutely. Yeah, it's just spraying at the top of the head, and you're like double fisting.
Planning this
For an
out.
Going everywhere.
antibacterial.
I think we're going to dress up Carson as a can of air spray on the way to Baltimore.
Yeah, we are.
So could be kind of-
Giant tubing.
Yeah, we got this
Oh, yeah.
down.
Well, actually, what about we? I'm still
Man,
being shipped media mail.
We'll work it out.
I think you guys just came up with a new game for the Impractical Jokers. They could sit there and try to put air fresheners on people that smell bad at conventions.
Oh.
I'll tell you, the trade shows, like the small little niche trade shows for comics and toys and what have you, smell so much worse than what the big cons do. Because like they don't even care. At least with the cons, you're gonna deal with like the cosplay girls. You're gonna deal with like people that are trying to go hug on their favorite celebrity, this, that, whatever. You're gonna have some normal people. You go to the trade shows, it's just everyone.
Hey, can I lobby?
And there's always the guy that came out of his basement for the first time that week. There's always one guy.
Since Rob's here, I want to kind of tell him about the contest.
Which guy is that supposed to be? Which guy is that one?
I want to tell Rob about the contest. We're bringing a guest to Comic Core, Baltimore Con, and they're going to stay with us. And while we're waiting, I'm going to give you guys my number one. Is that all right? Can we start it?
Yeah, let's start.
All right. So here's my number one.
Yeah, this is probably take number 73 right now. Comic core rhymes with comic, horse rhymes with Baltimore. I heard you got room for one more.
Love it. It hits me right here.
Take 74.
You sound familiar.
Comic core rhymes with comic, horse rhymes with Baltimore. I heard you got room for one more.
Maybe.
Pick me, comic core.
What do you think? Should we? I don't know.
Mr. Manchu, I avoided you. Doing too. I was young and so confused.
And smart move. Yeah. JD, well, you got it, brother.
Legend rhymes almost all the times.
He's right.
Truth like dimes with a flow so freaking prime.
I say we hire him.
Yeah, it ought to be a crime. Cat ran with you. Love Starfire.
Yeah, she does.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah. And Colossus.
In his shed, by a leash he's led. fresh straw for his bed.
Going for sweet potatoes.
It's funny because it's true.
Cat ran figures. Coriander.
That's Starfire.
That's her real name.
Yeah.
In Seawood Land, you can find that man at the newsstand. Stephanie Pants. When you're in Seawood Land.
This is the best part. This is the best part of the song.
All Midwest was one of the best. Now in peace he rests. With some books. We will never.
I guess God needed some books pressed.
You finish that goddamn.
I'm down for this, dude.
Same.
I would like to echo Thomas Misexplains line. I want to party with that.
Well, Troop, I would say that the only way that he should be allowed to be with you is if he actually brings his guitar and sings the entire.
We'll get him a guitar. We'll get him a guitar.
Or you know, a ukulele.
One of his
like a ukulele if you can't bring the whole guitar. You know, just a little.
I want to make it super awkward too. Like I want him to.
It has to be a Spider-Man guitar. It's the only way we're doing this.
I want him to sing the song with Jim Lee in the booth. Just the two of them, just randomly sing.
I like it. Have a sing along. Sing along with Jim Lee. I like it.
I like it.
I think the song they need to sing together is one of my favorite ukulele songs. That Tiny Tim tiptoe through the tulips. Yeah, that high pitched stuff.
Yeah.
Where are the people from Comic Story and John's Comics with Kids?
John is not available tonight, and I was waiting on White Whale.
This explains in the chat voting. We could get him in as.
I think Caleb an invite to Instagram.
Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb, get in here, Caleb.
Caleb can't vote.
Oh, he's in the running.
He's in the running. Caleb can
don't be joining now, Caleb. Sorry, take that.
Right. So here we'll go ahead. Let you guys okay if we go ahead and do it? You represent your groups. All right. So my picks. First place is Pear Island Comics. Second place is Caleb. Third place is Bake the Snake. And fourth place is Airboy the Barbarian.
Yep. I concur with those picks.
All right. So
I had that written down.
C. Wood.
Yeah, I think definitely Bear Island. I mean, he wrote a song about us. Like, come on. And it was hilarious. Like, it was, the Adam Sandler in his prime, goofy guitar goodness. Yeah. I absolutely love the Bear Island video. I had a smile on my face.
We got the 8 Days of Hanukkah for the Comic Core. That's what
I think my second place vote would have to be Airboy the Barbarian. Another awesome, hilarious video. Just him making that list is like, oh, what do I do now? I make the Comic Core list. And then by the end, he's interviewing Neil Adams. And his daughter's just sitting there the whole time, like face palming. I was laughing so hard. So definitely a good one there. I guess the other shout outs, definitely Caleb Comic Smurf. He's been making videos like every week since the contest was announced. So he really wants to go and he wants it. So definitely shout out to Caleb. Who Comics and Movies made a fun video. He's driving to the airport. He's like, I'm going to stay at this airport until I get a ticket to Baltimore. So that was like the poor daughter was trapped in there with him, I guess. So that was a really funny video too. So I guess those would have to be my picks for this contest.
All right.
And one thing I want to say, thank you everybody who did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, response was absolutely overwhelming. It was fun. It was great. Like you said, the Who Dat one made me laugh a lot. Yeah.
All right, Kat, you're the final vote. And Legend, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Golly, son.
So before, of course, I agree with the picks, but I also want to interject a few honorable mentions who I think should definitely be noted. And that is, my boys, Pocan Joe and Spectacular Spider Grandpa. Pocan Joe definitely was rivaling Caleb there for a while in number of submissions, and they were pretty funny throughout. And Spectacular stating that if he got it, he would bring his boy Piglet. Call back to C2E2, guys. I'm still praying.
That poor Piglet was in the tree way too long.
I'm praying that Piglet still makes an appearance at Baltimore, honestly, because, it'd be fun.
I don't want to touch that thing. All right, Ledge.
All right, so my picks, number one, Bear Island Comics. Like Carson said, you got to love those guitar gimmicks. A lot of fun. He had some good rhymes too, so it was really cool. Next up, I got to go with Caleb Comics Smurf Murphy, one of the best people here in the YouTube comic book community. Always has a smile on his face. He always, has that joy and passion into what he's talking about, and all the stuff he shows is really cool. And he's got, just a great channel. So I love watching that guy. So he did a great job. Next up, man, you got to go Barbarian, man. Barbarian. Very good. Love that. Great video. And my fourth, got to go with Who Dat Comics and Movies, because little Who Dat, she stole the show. So I got those are my four.
So according to my numbers here, first place goes to none other than Bear Island Comics. You are coming to hang out with us, brother. Second place.
Put your drinking shoes on.
Second place is going to Caleb, the comic Smurf Murphy.
Yeah.
Caleb, good. One of those Caleb.
It's not too loud.
And now
is going to be there.
Tomorrow we will announce the third and fourth place, because we need to get John's comics, because right now we're tied on the third and fourth, but it looks like Airborne and Bake the Snake and Who Dat. So we're down to a race. I also would like to send out a special thank you, and they're going to get a prize regardless, because if they get an opportunity to come, they can stay with us and they can get into the entry. Chuckload of Comics, you and Shauna, I know you guys have something going on that the weekend before, but if you guys can, I know you said you want to try to make it for one day, and we'll see what we can do about getting you into the stadium. So you guys are more than welcome. Guys, I am sending out links to Caleb, you can join us, and Bear Island.
Yep. Say that song one more time.
It's time for you to jump on here and start talking. All right, somebody else can talk.
Yeah. Also, special shout out to JP's Budget Collecting. I believe he made a video as well, so always like his content as well.
I want to give a shout out to the Mastodon. Mastodon.
Mastodon staying with us.
Yeah, he made a video. When he made his video, he didn't want to win the prize, but he gave love to like 3 other people, and I thought that was pretty cool. Putting others first before himself. That was always cool.
Donnie's good. He just won a contest, Burke Nasty's contest. He came in second.
That's awesome, man. Burke Nasty 54, another good YouTuber.
Also, not to be weird, Bear Island, but I'm a great snuggler too.
Yeah, that's super.
And by the way, for what it's worth, Chris Barrett's voting for Mark, Kat, plug your ears real quick. Mark made a video too.
Hey, media mail, you don't have to worry about any type of transportation. Put non-fragile on the box and cut a couple holes.
Hey, listen, Double S just popped into the chat. I haven't seen that guy in a minute. So what's up, Double S? Listen, here's the deal, guys. if you want to go to Baltimore and you were counting on the contest, we got something more in store for you guys. And here's what it is. We are giving the tickets to you at a half cost price. If you'd like to go, contact us directly. We can get you tickets at half the cost. And if you want to stay with us, it's very inexpensive as well.
Yes. But like I was saying, Carson, you and I might need a Sherpa, so we might be bringing him.
Sherpa, pack animal.
Yeah. He's going to be a Sherpa.
Do you have big enough backpacks?
Oh, I've got backpacks, all right.
Do you have like a
JP,
JP,
JP's budget and collecting. You would be in the thing if you could have gone, but unfortunately, you told me you could. So we kind of it was fun. It was fun. I like JP's.
I like JP's too. These guys, it was fun all over, but packing my clothes in a long box, comics explained. Here's the thing. I sleep naked and I walk around.
No.
So.
No.
No.
Okay. Your point.
Last we discussed about that.
I'm just going to send Spectacular in there to cuddle with you.
Chris Barrett, if you'd like to go, hit us up on Instagram. We can get you information.
That sounds like Lord Alfred Hayes, and Pat Patterson. Lord Alfred Hayes and Pat Patterson locker room stories. What was that, JD Flair? It don't matter what you think, JD Flair. No, I'm just kidding.
We got you, Chad. I'm sorry to say, Bear Island. Congratulations, you won Roommates of the Year, Chad.
Hey, Chad, we'll just open your windows. Make sure it's really nice and cold in there for you.
I did. When we were in Chicago, my windows were completely open.
I know ours was stuck open.
But it still didn't prevent Pocan and Spider Grandpa from coming in and molesting me. I will show you on my new statue that I got today where they touched me.
Don't show anything. Don't show
the statue where they touched you.
On my group?
Yeah.
Oh, me and Legend live next to a haunted basement, and we survived. So I think
we
our
were
buddy
haunted basement tours. Yeah.
So, Rob, what did you think of our? This is our contest.
This is off the rails.
If you want to stay with us, you're more than welcome. Like, there's a lot of cuddlers.
I actually want to give serious consideration to it. Baltimore is a show that I absolutely want to go to. Jim Lee has avoided me at every show that we have been at together. I've gotten my picture in a headlock with Greg Capullo. We have him for an hour on Saturday morning. Before Are you serious?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Oh, I shouldn't have announced that. Sorry.
Is he going to be drawing?
So no, never mind. We'll talk about that when we go off there.
We're still live?
Okay. Okay. Rob, serious question here. If not you, Legend, not you. if I bring my books and I put them all in front of you, will you sign them?
Well, my last name's not Liefeld, so.
That makes
yes, right now I will.
Okay. 18 shows in a row.
Right now I will deface your books. I will make them worth less than what you bought them for. So.
Well, we are being graced by the Grand. Whoa.
Hey, Grand Wizard, another great manager from the old 70s, 80s.
Whoa, we got the Grand Place winner.
Damn, what have you been drinking now? You stacked that Kool-Aid down there?
Songstress himself.
Is Chad having a stroke?
We got the first place, the grand prize winner of the Comic-Con trip to Baltimore, and we're talking about Bear Island Comics. Adam, what's going down, man?
Please tell me you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, I expect 9 6s at least out of all my submissions because you're going, and you promised it.
I guarantee it.
Hey, what kind of
If I don't get all 9 6s, you don't have to take me to the next one. How's that?
Are you gonna sing live at the con at Kat and Mark's wedding?
Okay, this is now it's starting to sound like a lot of work here, like a lot of extra work. I thought this was like a getaway, like a vacation, like they give away in a game show. I don't think they asked them to like do stuff, do they?
We're hoping you were going
vacation.
to your guitar opening.
It's a vacation, but we're putting you to work.
Working vacation. Okay.
Kat has plans, literally, and can I share this with everybody that you don't know if you're going to make it to the con because you plan on interviewing a shark.
Yeah, we're going to interview a shark.
At the aquarium.
At the aquarium. I am actually going to be interviewing a shark, hopefully live, depending on what the Wi-Fi is like there. We shall see.
Well, we are going to be
We'll see if I make it out
underground.
alive.
Should I go in there and be with the shark?
Maybe I can get that really cool chain metal suit that they had in the third Jaws movie, because there really weren't that many great things in Jaws 3, but that suit was pretty neat.
Chris Perez is saying that he can't hang out with us because we're in the Triad. We really didn't join the Triad.
We are in the Triad.
You just have tramp stamp tattoos that say Triad. It's fine.
Hey, we don't talk about those.
But I would love to hang out with Chris Barrett. I think that dude could party probably.
Oh, I guarantee you, Chris Barrett can party.
I like to guarantee.
Can you hang, bro?
Hey, yes, Chris Barrett, I will ride the shark. I'll try to.
Hashtag ride the shark.
That sounds like a shirt to me.
Already up.
How these things happen. Yep, it's already up on the store.
Put his head on the Aquaman. Put his head on the Aquaman Super Friends instead of the.
We're gonna drop that cheap
You
public
should
link
put
right
his
down
head
there.
on, some of the behind-the-scenes photos for Jaws. Just superimpose Mark's head on it, because the camera operator actually had to ride a Jaws animatronic in order to get some of those shots.
Mark's first meal in Baltimore will be shark. LOL.
Probably.
He probably would go for fin soup, right? Isn't that a thing?
That's illegal in the States, but okay.
No, I had a wedding in Chinatown one time in New York.
Yeah, I mean, we could go to Chinatown and get it, I'm sure.
So Bear Island, what are you?
Yeah, I've been there.
What? Since all your dreams have come true.
All of them, every single one.
Right.
This is it for me.
Take showers with Pocan, and it's really weird. It's gonna
Go ghost hunting with Mark and Drew Manchu.
Yeah,
These are things I never even knew I wanted. I mean, I'm learning all this new information coming to light about Chad's sleeping habits and things, and super excited for that.
yeah.
If you're concerned about Chad, Discovery Bay will terrify you. 3 o'clock in the morning, you'll go downstairs for water.
You're always on. It's literally the Big Brother
You'll be
house.
sitting in the dark.
Big Brother house going on. And then,
That is
then
what
you
I
got
think
lucky.
of when I think of C2E2 and the stories you guys tell is somebody tripping over Discovery.
Yeah, no. He would sit at the kid. We all sat at this table.
Big old
right?
dining room table.
And he would just
I
sit.
saw it.
He sat there like this, and he'd go 43%. You're like, and it's 4 a.m, and you're like, "What are you talking about, man?"
Hey, man.
Dude's uploading shit, and you're like, "What?" But
Oh,
as
good.
of right now, like the people that are saying this, and it's us, Drew Manchu, Comics Misexplained, Bear Island, John's Comics with Kids,
Mastodon.
Oh, sweet.
Pocan, Joe,
Pokey and Joe,
Me.
and JD, and whoever else wants to stay with
Me
us.
and Woodard.
No, we said us. That
Oh,
was us.
Well,
we go,
I
man. What are
really
you?
hope that my package arrives before the Comic-Con ends. I mean, it is still media mail.
We're just gonna stick you in a closet. It'll be fine.
Don't even
Make
open your package.
Marge, make sure you don't have any advertising materials. We need to
Add
get
more
Jason Smith to make sure Mark gets there.
And Caleb, I'm still. Was Caleb's
rebooting his computer, I think.
Oh, okay.
What does that mean?
He's looking for that AOL disc.
Oh, hey, do you want to announce the T-shirts?
I already put it in the chat.
Okay, we have brand new T-shirts for Comic Core's Baltimore Con that Chad created. They're lovely, and Mark and I already ordered ours.
Yeah, we
So if you're going, go ahead and order the shirts. They're awesome. There are crabs on them.
Whoa.
It's a big.
Oh, nice.
Animated crabs. Animated crabs.
It's a big crab.
You had me at crabs.
On the core logo.
You had me at crabs.
Jeez, honey, you really had to announce that you're giving them crabs?
No, Travis.
The Comic Core is
Travis.
giving him crabs. That's what the huge stick is for Baltimore.
Chad's giving.
Greatest shirt of all time.
I mean, sharing is caring, guys. Come on.
Right?
Sharing is caring.
Exactly.
At least it's a cool looking crab.
I mean, what's a couple crabs between friends, right?
If this con doesn't take years off your life, we'll all be disappointed.
Right.
Exactly.
We're really hoping that does.
Well, with that, I'd say sign me up.
You're in. You're
Okay,
in.
we've already got the approval. We're gonna have a cooler there.
Oh no, they did tell us that we're allowed to have alcohol on the show floor.
Okay. It's real simple. It's gonna be beers.
They didn't say no specifications.
They did not put any limitations on it.
Right.
So I'm bringing a cooler.
Dark liquors.
No, we only said that it could only be dark liquors.
Oh, no, we can have. What do you want? Like wine cooler, Chad?
Bartles. I was hoping for some Bartles and James.
Sounds like this will be the last year for that policy. At Baltimore, huh?
Hey, we have another. You guys, we have another bottle of White Walker.
Yeah, that shit was awful.
That's amazing.
Rough. It was rough.
So bad.
I took a couple shots of that at Mary Fuck Kill when I was going up against Carson, and that was rough.
You're welcome.
How about that Witchblade? Did you drink that Witchblade, right?
So Rob, we
No,
play a game
it's
on
gorgeous.
Cat's
It's on the
on
shelf.
Cat's channel called Mary
Cat.
That's a scary movie too.
Mary F. Kill, right?
Yeah.
And
I think it's called Mary Kill
Right.
Colossus. At last I
Yeah,
heard.
So let me just give you a scenario real quick. Cyclops, Cable, or Colossus.
Why do
Who are you gonna marry? Who are you gonna F? Who are you gonna kill?
Do I want to hear this
You're
again?
gonna kill I'm sorry. You're gonna kill Cyclops, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That one's easy.
He's 1 for 1.
With a book like X Liefeld's that just came out. With a book like X Liefeld's, I guess I have to fuck Cable, right? And of course marry Colossus because, well, he has a metal dork. So
for days. according to Cat. According to Cat, she would F Colossus for days.
Yeah.
Cable's got that big metal arm with that big metal fist.
I married Cable. I married Cable. And yeah. Mark hates every time. Look at his face.
His face every time.
If you guys want to, you can buy that shirt.
We're newly married, and he doesn't like that.
All I know, Chad, is we got the King John Free shirt. Can we get a shirt of Mark doing the Colossus face? It's gonna be a great poster.
No, we can't.
Okay.
Want it?
Our set as of now are 4 directors chairs,
and a fern, and the king picture in the background,
and John right here.
Now is that
That's it.
Chad, is
perfect. That's perfect.
Is that fern going to be Dean Ambrose's from the Ambrose Asylum? Is that
that's what we're talking about, because we're going John Moxley fans. We're gonna have the fern there, and we're hoping that the union doesn't want to carry the shit in.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Chris Barrett in the chat says, "Can I have Mark sign my Colossus poster?"
Yes, I'll sign it for you. I'll be upset, but I'll sign it.
Gray Matter Hulk says,
so I'm even wondering. Okay,
go ahead.
You guys asked at the beginning if I wanted to go to Baltimore Comic-Con with you, and I'm wondering what the hell you'd have me doing there. Would I be the fern?
So here's the thing: we don't want to do we're super lazy people, and we really don't want to just do shows the entire time there. We probably want to go look for books. So if you want to have the booth, go for it.
Well, somebody has to water the fern, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Do I already have that job?
No. You're in charge of the girls jumping on trampolines.
Yeah.
Oh, if we have a dead fern by Sunday, I that's the most appropriate thing possible, in my opinion.
I know for a fact that
symbolism.
Water at least twice a day. So it'd be good.
See, that's the grower in him that knows that.
We're be bringing a case of whiskey.
Urine is actually sterile. Like, you can drink urine.
Ew.
No, actually, that's actually.
I'm not saying we drink the urine. I'm saying the plant drinks the urine.
I mean,
it's urine, boy.
We can afford some water for this fern.
Officially not allowed to be the bartender.
Violate the fern.
Was it Yoren, the Night's Watch guy from Game of Thrones? Yoren?
Your Stormcloak.
So we still got Comic Man Andy in the chat. What's going on, Comic Man Andy? We got Gray Matter Hulk in the chat. He says Baltimore Comic Con presents Fern Boys Green Thumb. So we still got Chris Barrett. All right.
Whiskey out of diabetic urine. You can whiskey out of that. What does that mean?
Chad's having
I'm trying to read what he said. You can whiskey out of diabetic urine.
What?
I think it means we're out of time tonight. Come down the line to see what everybody got.
I think
Caleb's on the flip
kicking us
side.
off.
We'll get it later.
No, wait. No, Caleb's coming on.
So
Guys, I bought a yarn.
So we have really cool bunk beds in our place that we're staying at, Rob.
Top bunk.
There is a room that has
Wait a minute.
bunk beds.
Okay.
Are we doubling up or tripling up or what? What's going on?
We can triple up on a bunk bed.
It's a bunk bed because it's got a lot of room. You can have room for activity afterwards.
Whoa.
So much room for activities.
What kind of activities?
Bagging and hoarding.
Samurai.
The kind where you catch crab.
Hiding Baron Corbin action figures.
Yeah. You drink piss and apparently get crab. This is a good time.
Orbin.
Are we waiting for Caleb, or should I?
Yeah, let's go off air. I haven't heard from Caleb, man.
All right, let's go off air. I'm going to throw the link in the chat. Guys, go out and definitely get Junior High Horrors. If anybody wants to go to Baltimore Comic Con, hit us up directly. We have passes. We'll hook you up. If you need a place to stay, trust me, we're cheaper than the Red Roof Inn because the whores moved.
Hourly rates still apply, though.
What's that?
Hourly rates still apply.
Yeah, no, we do got hourly rates. Only in Legend.
Ghost tax.
So, with that being said, I am posting the link in the chat. If you guys want to hang out with us afterwards, do so. And that's it. Good night. God bless.
You just opened up another chat.
I did?
No, Katie did.
Oh.